The Frog and the Scorpion. Once upon a time, in a lush, vibrant marsh where the water shimmered in the sunlight and tall reeds swayed gently in the breeze, there lived a humble frog named Felix. Felix was known throughout the marsh for his cheerful croak, his skill at leaping between lily pads, and his warm heart that endeared him to all the creatures who called the marsh home. Not far from this peaceful haven, in a dry, rocky patch near the water's edge, resided a scorpion named Silas. Silas was a solitary creature, with a gleaming, dark shell and a venomous tail that arched over his back like a curved scimitar. The other animals in the marsh whispered about Silas, warning one another to keep their distance because of his dangerous nature. Despite the cautionary tales, Silas felt trapped by his own instincts, bound by a nature he could not change. One warm afternoon, as Felix was enjoying a leisurely swim in the cool, clear water of a winding stream that fed the marsh, he noticed a peculiar figure inching its way toward him along the muddy bank. It was Silas the scorpion, moving slowly but with determined purpose. As Silas approached the water's edge, he cleared his throat and spoke in a soft, measured tone. "Dear Felix," he said, "I have a humble request. The stream that you so enjoy has grown too wide for me to cross safely, and I must reach the other side to find shelter before nightfall. Would you be so kind as to carry me across the water on your back?" Felix's heart skipped a beat. He had heard of the scorpion's fearsome reputation, and a shiver ran down his spine at the thought of carrying such a creature. "But Silas," Felix replied, his voice trembling slightly, "how can I be sure that you will not sting me during the journey? I fear that your venom might harm me." The scorpion paused and looked into Felix's wide, trusting eyes. "I understand your concern, dear friend," Silas replied. "But consider this, if I were to sting you while you are carrying me across the stream, we would both surely drown. It is not in my best interest to harm you. My nature compels me to act as I do, yet I have no desire to bring about our mutual destruction." Felix thought long and hard. The logic of Silas's words made sense. If the scorpion's venom would kill both, why would he do it? Convinced by the scorpion's reasoning, and moved by a generous spirit, Felix decided to trust him. "Very well," said Felix, "I shall carry you across the stream, but I ask you to be gentle." With careful precision, Felix positioned himself at the water's edge and allowed Silas to climb onto his broad, damp back. The scorpion settled there, his pincers gripping lightly, and together they began the slow journey across the gently flowing stream. The water sparkled under the afternoon sun as Felix leaped from one submerged log to another, steadily making his way toward the opposite bank. As they neared the middle of the stream, with the cool water swirling around them and the sounds of nature all around, a strange tension filled the air. Felix could feel his heart pounding beneath his skin, while Silas remained silent and still on his back. For a moment, all seemed calm and peaceful. Yet, without warning, in an instant that felt both inevitable and tragic, Silas lifted his stinging tail and struck out. The sharp, venomous tip pricked Felix's tender skin. Shock and pain erupted in the frog's body as he cried out, his powerful legs suddenly weakened by the searing venom. In that heartbreaking moment, Felix realized the bitter truth. Despite his logical reasoning and good intentions, Silas's nature had taken over. As the venom coursed through his veins, Felix's strength began to ebb away. The cool stream that had once carried him confidently now felt like an endless current pulling him under. With a final, sorrowful gaze at the scorpion, Felix sank beneath the surface, his life slipping away into the deep, dark water. Silas clung to Felix's back for a few lingering moments as they both drifted in the quiet depths. Then, with a heavy heart filled with regret and resignation, Silas whispered into the stillness, "I could not help it. It is in my nature." And with that, the scorpion too was swept away by the current, leaving behind only the silent, tragic echo of a trust betrayed. The marsh fell quiet once more, and the tale of Felix and Silas spread throughout the land, a somber reminder that some creatures are bound by their very nature, no matter how hard they might wish to be different. Moral of the story ***. The fable of the frog and the scorpion teaches us that certain traits or instincts are deeply ingrained and cannot always be overcome, even when it is against our own best interests. It reminds us to be cautious in whom we trust and that sometimes inherent nature prevails, no matter how logical or kind our intentions may be.